Today we are going to we're going to start dealing with some of the fundamentals of using your Facebook page. And today we're going to the absolute most fundamental, which is posting a status. So here on your Facebook page, you can see your admin panel. Scroll down, and you can see right down here, status. You're just going to click in that box. This is where you're going to start posting content that's going to stir up the people that already like your page, which is most likely going to be your family and friends starting out, and reaching outside of that and just getting them to interact with your page. You've got to do content. You can't just have this page sitting there doing nothing and expect it to grow. Just doesn't quite work that way. Now, before we jump into this, I also know that some of you may be veterans of Facebook in a way that you have your personal profile that you've been doing with your family and friends, and so some of this may seem very elementary to you. Some of you have never touched Facebook in your life, and you're not sure how to do anything. Well, I'm going to try to make for sure that no matter where you're at in that spectrum, you're going to learn something today. So jumping into this, you can see status, photo, video, event, milestone, and that little plus sign, which actually just means more. And we'll get to these other things at a later time. But today, dealing with the status, when you come over here, it just tells you write something. And notice that it doesn't say write anything. And the reason is that you need to write something that pertains to the subject matter of your book, your product, who you are, whatever it may be, that the subject matter of your Facebook page. Try to stay within those boundaries. In other words, if, for instance, with Godslinger, this is a Christian fiction book. It's written by Dave Spillman, right there. Hey, Dave. And it's, as you can see, it is about Walking Apocalypse, Book 1. So we're talking about end of days, Bible prophecy, Book of Revelation, Daniel, so forth and so on. So whatever Dave writes about, it needs to be something that pertains to that. It doesn't have to be that he's always talking about his book. It doesn't have to be that he's always trying to sell his book, which we'll talk about what type of content to do later. But again, we just want to deal with the mechanics of how to post a status and how to post the best status. So jumping right into that, I prepared one a little bit earlier just for the sake of time, and I'm throwing it up here. Why does it seem like we are all cranky? The truth is that we're all tired of this postmodern bus ride. Go to my blog and see what I wrote about Death Junction. Well, that's a great post, except that there's nothing that's really telling people how to get to that blog. There's nothing that really jumps out. It's just text. Now, again, we'll talk about what's great content, what's not great content at some point, but with this, you're really just asking too much. You're wanting them to have to go try to find your blog. Now, between you and me, you're probably saying, well, it's right up here. But for some people, when they see this in their stream, in their news feed, that's not right there looking at them. They do not see that. And so you're just asking too much. They're going to have to click, come over here to your page, then go to that to finally see what you wanted them to see in the first place. So one of the best ways of doing that is to actually do it for them. But before I get to that, I want you to see something. I left this up here because this is something Dave did, and a lot of people do this. And I thought, well, I'm just going to leave it up here, let you guys see it. Right down here, you see that he wrote, new post, Death Junction. And then he's got the link here, which is great. But you got an incomplete sentence here. You got a good picture, but there's just nothing that really tells me this is something I want to read, right? New post, Death Junction. He wrote this a few days ago, and as you can see, he has no likes, no comments, and no shares. Although he has 23 people that this showed this showed up in their newsfeed, but nobody reacted to it. So we're going to look at how could we do this a little better. Now, one of the first things we want to do is we're going to go to that blog post, which I already did. Went to his website, and here's the post, Death Junction. You see a strong, powerful picture here, and basically it's his post. And Dave writes very dynamic, and the minute you start reading, you're sucked in. And so I know if we can get anybody to this page, they're going to read it and they're going to start reacting to it. So what we want to do is come up here to the top in your browser, the URL. It's already highlighted here. Go ahead and just Apple C or Shift C if you're on a PC. Go back to Facebook, and let's just put it here in the post, Apple V. And you'll see what Facebook does is something very dynamic. It automatically starts creating, well, there it is, Death Junction on Godslinger. You see the URL there, and then it's got, are you prepared for the coming impact? Now, and you can see 1 of 11, choose a thumbnail. So as you're clicking this little arrow, look at that. It's pulling all the pictures that it can from his website on that page. And so you're going to notice that there's a lot of pictures that has nothing to do with Death Junction. I'm sure she doesn't want her face attached to Death Junction, right? So you go and find the picture that matches the post. There's the train. Now, you can actually click on this and change this up any way you like. You can come in and, let's just say you don't like that period there. Just delete it. Click out of it, and it's changed. Same thing here. If you want to write more, you double click on it, and you can write as much as you want. However, again, I don't want to overwhelm too much. I think, are you prepared for the coming impact? That's a great line. Something to draw them in. So now we come up here to this. Now, is there a better way of writing this post now that we have them here? Go to my blog and see what I wrote. No, we're doing that for them. So why does it seem like we're all cranky? The truth is that we're all tired of this postmodern bus ride. I would do this and say, check out what I wrote about Death Junction. Just make sure there's no extra spaces in there. Now here's the other cool thing. You don't have to leave that URL in there anymore. You can actually highlight this and delete it, and Facebook still keeps it in there, but that way you don't have it's not a longer post, the link is there, and it works great. So now that you've got that in place, all you have to do is simply hit post. And now you can see there's your post. There's your text. There's a link. You can see everything that you edited. You can click it just to double check your links. That's always good to do, I suggest. And the internet is going to pull that person straight to your blog post. So that is how easy it is to write a status on your Facebook page.